Hello there. Have you heard about knowledge money? It's a concept where you get to make money from what you know, from your existing knowledge. Emeka Novice is about to give insight on this topic. Remember to get your writing materials and jot things down.
Okay, in this conversation, I am going to be focusing on the 4 basic assets that you've got to have for knowledge money. Basically, you know that knowledge money is money that is made from what you know, and I'm championing that course. Anything that has to do with you making money from what you know, from your stories, from your talents, from your expertise, from what you've mastered. Emeka Novice will find himself there, and that's why I'm in your face again in this conversation. But there are 4 basic assets that you've got to have to be able to make money from what you know. Very basic, and I'm going to be sharing with you in this conversation. I like to call this conversation because I like to have a conversation with you. If you got questions you want to ask me, put it in the comment section of anywhere that you're watching this video, especially on YouTube, and I will be there to provide some form of clarity for you. The number 1 is your brain, as simple as it is. It's your brain, all right? Your brain. And the 2 things I want to share about your brain is your ability to think and your ability to observe, all right? Your ability to think and your ability to observe. So in your head, you have to be able to think. In your mind, I mean, I don't know where the mind is. Some people say the mind is here, some people say the mind, but whatever, you understand what I'm talking about. But the brain, right, is given to us to think and to function in this life. It's the brain that controls is the center of the activities of our lives, that control all the senses that make us human beings, right? So think of scenarios, all right? Conjure themes in your mind. Ponder over the metaphors of life, all right? And then make it a habit to observe. So for me, I'm always thinking about themes. I'm conjuring up scenarios in my head. What could be, what could not be, what if not. And the more that I do that exercise, the more that I'm able to come up with the thought patterns that I share out there that people benefit from, all right? And then next to that is your ability to observe. You've got to have the passion to observe the things around you, all right? Observation presents you with facts and stories. When you observe conversations, when you observe how people behave, how people ask questions, how people express the worldviews of their lives, the things that they're dealing with, your ability to observe, all right? The questions are basically most importantly, the questions that people ask and their behavioral patterns. Your ability to observe will help you to be able to do the next thing that I'm going to be sharing with you, which is the art of documentation, okay? You think, you come up with these scenarios, then as your answers are coming, as your observation, as you're doing your observation and you're getting responses to these observations, right? You've got to be able to document them. This is a skill. This is an asset that you've got to have, your ability to document, because it's based on these things that you're documenting that you can be able to share what you know with the world, and then you can get paid in return, all right? The art of documentation. So it's as simple as you sitting down at the end of the day, all right, with your pen or with your device. I usually like to write down, and you ask a simple question: what happened today, all right? What happened today? Maybe from the morning till the evening. What happened? And then you allow your mind to just hover around. You allow your mind to just explore, and then you find out that you are able to sit down, and then you can be able to itemize the things that happen throughout the day, and how did you react and respond? You ask yourself that question: how did you react and respond? What were the conversations you had? The good conversations, the bad conversations, all right? And then you'll be able to write them down. Some people love journals. I mean, I'm not really fixated on journaling. Like, I don't have a written journal, but I have a journal in the technical sense of it, but I have my notepads, right, that I write down with. And then I have my, right, even though some individuals will say this is not exactly good, because you can wake up one day and find out that this is gone and all your details inside there are gone. Anyway, somebody can say that books can get burnt, but anyway, I think that what people say now to be able to, forestall all these occurrences is that the ability to write these things down and then save them in the cloud, such that even if your devices get burnt and then you buy another device, then you can be able to download back again from the cloud, which I think is a great thing. But then the most important thing there is, the essential thing I'm sharing with you is the art of documentation. All right. So whether you buy a journal, whether you get an iPad, whether you get a note device, whichever it is, you can decide to choose the time that you want to do it, maybe before nighttime or early in the morning. Some individuals, you can do it early in the morning before they start the new day, right? They can sit down before the new day starts and begin to think in their heads, what happened the day before? What were my conversations? The good and bad conversations, all right? How did you react and respond? And then you begin to jot those things down. It's on the basis of these things that you are doing that you can be able to extract the kinds of things that you can be able to share the world, the concepts, the ideologies, the experiences, your failures, the solutions that you've given. These are the things that you can be extracting from to be able to share your knowledge with the world. So documentation is critically important. You've got to be able to master that as an asset, all right? The third asset that you've got to be able to have for yourself is your ability to write, to express yourself in written words. To express yourself in written words. People say, oh, writing is not important. Writing is very important, even right from the foundation of the world. You may not be a Christian, but in the Bible you find out that there's always an instruction to write something down. Write this upon the tablets that who may read it may run with it. Write this down, all right? Instructions to Noah, write down, and all that to be able to build the ark and a whole lot of things. And then even the scriptures that we had today, if they were not written down, how would we have been able to understand the foundations of the world and how to be able to connect and interact with our Creator, no matter what it is that you believe in, all right? Write them down. Your ability to express yourself in written words, as simple as you can, all right? People want to have inroads into your heart and inroads into your thoughts. So that's an asset you've got to have, the ability to express yourself in written words, all right? Then final asset is the ability to speak. To tell you the absolute truth, I call speaking my secondary gift or my secondary talent. I was able to realize that I could write at the age of 7, and I began to explore that. I call speaking my secondary gift because it didn't come to me naturally. I had to, even though we talk as human beings, open your mouth and all that, but speaking is doing something in a very thoughtful and very organized manner to be able to pass across intended information or organized information in a way that people can absorb them and utilize them for themselves, all right? And so I was able to learn how to speak, all right? And if you notice, I'm not the type that whoops and shouts while speaking. If you heard me, I mean, physically, even on a stage where I speak physically, I'm not the type that whoops and does all the drama while speaking. It's just my style. I mean, you've watched my videos also here on YouTube, and you have observed the way that I speak. I like to be more conversational. I like to be calm when I'm conversing with you. Even when I'm on stage, I'm not given to all that rambunctious exhibitions. That's not my style. So I am in tune with my element. I'm in tune with who I am, what I am, and how I'm able to express myself, all right? I'm learning, and I am still learning. I learned how to speak the way I'm speaking, and I'm still learning. I learned from people like Jim Rohn, how to tell stories. I learned from Joel Osteen. I learned from people like Vusi Tembekwayo. So I watch them, I see the way they do their thing, the way they do their delivery, and then I try as much as possible, not just to mimic them, but to see how they are doing what they're doing, and then I practice that in a way that is in tune with my identity, who I am as a Mecca Nobis, okay? So you've got to be able to learn. It's an asset. Speaking is an asset that you've got to have because it will help you to be able to express yourself, to share what you know with the world, to share your story with the world, and in doing that authentically, they connect to you, to your ideologies, and they are able to consider you an expert. Remember that the goal is to be the guru, right? To be the guru in the marketplace with regards to how you're positioning yourself in your industry is critically important, all right? And I can tell you that we can all learn. We can learn how to think creatively. We can learn how to observe. We can learn how to document. We can learn how to write, right? And when we can learn how to speak, we are human beings and we are imbued with this ability, innate ability to be able to learn. We're not like animals, all right? The animals in the forest and all that, but we're human beings. We have this innate ability to learn anything. Before I wrap up on this, I would love to appreciate the fact that social media and the internet, they have been of great help to those of us who have decided to be able to share their knowledge with the world. I visited my dad some weeks ago, and in the city where I was born, my parents still live there, and then I met this friend of mine there, and then I took her on a walk around the place that I was born, showed her the building where I was born, showed her the vicinity, showed her everything around the place. I mean, things have changed. New buildings have been built. Old ones have been refurbished. But the history of the place is still in my memory. So I was sharing with her the different places, cinemas that we used to visit, the shops where we used to buy. Even some of them have gone under as a business. But I shared with her that was one thing that was very, very, something that I held, how do I put it now? Something that was just so sacred to take a look at. Back then when we were growing up, we had only one TV station called Imo Broadcasting Service, right? Imo Broadcasting Service was just one TV station, no other in the entire of the state. So if you needed to have your voice heard, you needed to go to IBS. If you needed to do anything like jingle or advertisement or whatever, you needed to go to IBS, buy a time slot, and then have your stuff advertised to, and everybody was fixated on that particular radio station. They had a radio station, and then they had their TV station, right? But now it's not the same. In the city of Imo State, I can't even count where I was born. I can't even count how many radio stations that are there now. They are springing up almost every quarter, right? IBS is no longer holding sway. And that is the joy of what we are experiencing now in this space, utilizing the internet. So the internet has given us the opportunity to be able to reach out without anybody gatekeeping our voices. So that which you know, that which you've mastered, that which you're an expert in, this is the greatest opportunity of our lives to be able to share it with the world, right? So embrace the internet, embrace social media, and be able to put your word out there, put out what you know, share with the world your experiences, and in turn, remember to be the guru in your industry, someone that they love and respect, and someone that they can take their words to the bank, all right? So my name is Emeka Nobis, and thank you for listening to this conversation. And the other videos of mine, please go ahead and check them out in the playlist here on YouTube, and you will be able to learn as many things that can help you to truly monetize everything that you know. So I always say, live your best life always. Ciao.
He's the dawn, the man of the hour, and we can know